Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. But today, instead of doing another Love Struck build or something like that, we're actually going back to a build that I did quite a while ago. And we're actually building the fourth house for my Not So Berry family. So basically, in case you guys missed it, I've been doing kind of like this mini series type thing where I'm building a house for each generation of my Not So Berry save as I play through it. So basically, I'm doing this a little bit differently from how I would usually do speed builds on the channel, in the sense that I'm actually using custom content, because this is a save and a challenge and a family that I'm playing with in my own free time. I'm not recording like gameplay with them or anything like that. And because it is kind of like a personal save, I do play with custom content, build by CC, all of that stuff, a lot of mods, everything like that. So I decided that, I want to do a new house for each generation. I would be doing this, regardless of whether I do it as a video or, anything like that. I would be doing it off camera in any case, because I do want each generation to live somewhere different. And because I'm playing a revised version of the Not So Berry challenge, which I will leave linked in the description, I'm actually, like, in this version of the challenge, your Sims do actually need to live in specific places for each generation. Now, I haven't read too far ahead with the challenge, so I'm not sure if all of the generations are like that, but the ones that I've played with so far, I'm up to the 4th generation currently. They do have to live in specific worlds. So I do obviously need to build a new house or a new apartment, or, a new place for them to live for each generation. And they're still like color themed. They're just different color themes from the original Not So Berry challenge that Lil Simsy and Always Simming created. But yeah, so obviously we're still building with a color scheme, but we do use CC, and I absolutely love the way this house turned out. But yeah, so in case you guys have missed this, I do have a playlist on my channel where I have all of my like CC builds, and all of the builds for this kind of like mini series will be in that playlist if you want to go ahead and check it out. I'll also make sure to link some of them on the screen. So far we've done 3 builds. I didn't do the first generation. I didn't do their house on camera because the first generation was a little bit different, in the sense that you started with nothing. So a little bit more like a rags to riches in that sense. So that house actually got built like piece by piece as my Sims made more money and they could afford to add more stuff and all of that, like stuff like that. So I didn't like sit down like I'm doing with this one and build the whole thing. I kind of like added to it slowly, so I didn't make a video out of that, but I did the 2nd generation, the 3rd generation, and obviously now we're doing the 4th one as well. And you guys really do seem to be enjoying these CC builds, because I do make sure to leave all of the CC that I use. I do list all of them in the description. So yeah, I do update the list. If you've downloaded like most of the CC from either of the previous 2 house builds, then you will probably have the majority of the stuff that I used in this one. I think when I did this build, I had downloaded a few new things, so there might be a couple of new links. But if you downloaded all of the CC from the previous builds, you'll probably have the majority of the stuff that I used. But this one is a little bit different in the sense that it is technically a residential rental. So the way that I did this is, for the 4th generation, your Sim, once they've completed university, my Sim has now completed university. She actually lived at home while she was doing university and all of that stuff. And I do have a mod that makes it so that university doesn't take like 4 Sim weeks to complete and like it's their whole lifespan, because I do play on normal lifespan, but I do have my lifespans altered a little bit with MC Command Center. But in any case, it would have taken her like her entire young adult lifespan to complete university. So I downloaded a mod that made it so that you only required, I believe it was 6 credits. So I had her split her classes into like 2 weeks, so like 3 classes a week. And she ended up completing university while I still had her living at home, because I always struggle with this when I play a generation type thing where I have multiple Sims in a household. And I'm like trying to play through a couple of generations. I always run into the thing where I get so attached to the previous generation and to my heirs, like siblings and all of that stuff, like the rest of the family, that I don't want to leave the house where they live. So I had my sim stay there for as long as I could. So because of the challenge rules, it does say that, you know, you can have your sim like move to the university world, you can have them move into a dorm or stay at home or whatever, as you know, as long as they're in university. But once they're completed, like once they've completed their degree, they do need to move to a city. So like they do need to move to either, I believe it said either San Sequoia, San Sequoia, or I can't remember the last one that the challenge listed. But I think there was 3 that they considered like cities. Obviously, you know, Del Sol Valley, I think might have been on there as well. You know, anything that gives you like city vibes. So I decided to move my sim into San Sequoia, and I actually wanted to do it in a little bit of a different way, where I actually wanted to play around with the residential rental system. So my sim doesn't own this lot. So she doesn't own the lot. She's not the landlord or anything like that. I basically just built this place, placed it down, and then I had her and her, I think at the moment he's her fiance, I think, or her boyfriend. I can't remember. I haven't played with this family and the save since Love Struck came out because it broke all of the mods and stuff that I was using. So I haven't like, I've been giving it a little bit of time to get everything updated and, you know, all of that stuff. I didn't obviously want to like pretend like I could rush the modders and CC creators into updating their stuff. And also I had a lot of other things going on. But yeah, so basically I think she's living here with either her boyfriend or her fiance. Not sure which he is at the moment. But yeah, so I had them move in here right from the world menu, and obviously, you know, that means that she doesn't own the lot that she lives on. She actually is renting one of the apartments. And the way that this build works is obviously there's 2 garages off to the side. I'll talk about that in a second, because as I was editing this footage, I realized that I missed something very obvious that I could have done with the garages, which I will talk about in a second. But then we have this house. Now, it does look like a regular suburban house, which is what I wanted, because I wanted it to still fit in with San Sequoia, and I didn't want to build like a proper apartment building in this area of the world. I felt like that wouldn't fit in all that well, unless I made it look like some sort of townhouse like deal, which again, I didn't want to do. So because I wanted to have my Sims all stay on one floor, because the previous house that they lived in Moonwood Mill, where my sim grew up, was actually 3 floors. Yeah, I think it was 3 floors. Yeah, so because, yeah, there was the 2 upstairs bedrooms, big first floor with 3 bedrooms, and then technically like first floor basement thing. It's a whole thing. It was an absolutely gigantic werewolf, practically like a mansion, if I'm being honest. And it took me forever, and it was huge. And for this one, I feel like my sim, she wouldn't want to have a huge family because she grew up in a huge family. I think she had what? Let me check my family tree, because I do have it open at the moment. So my sim actually had what? 4 siblings? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she had 4 no, not 4 siblings, 3 siblings. She's one of 4. So she had 3 siblings. It was very busy. She's the oldest. I did go with the oldest sim for this one, for this like heir. But yeah, so I feel like she wouldn't want to have like a huge family. Maybe just 1 kid. Like she would have to want to have 1 kid, maybe twins if I get lucky and get twins. I don't think I will force it or anything like that, because the house isn't super big, so there isn't really space for twins. But I could like have them lived a little bit cramped, and I don't want to have them move. So we'll see once we get there. It's not in the cards at the moment because I don't want to play with kids yet. So yeah, doesn't really matter. But the reason I wanted to do it this way is because like I said, I wanted to play around with the residential rental feature, and I wanted to have them, like I said, live on 1 floor because I'm tired of having like a 3-story house. So basically the way that I did this build is we have 2 apartments. We have obviously the first floor, which we are furnishing right now. And then we have the second floor that is a little bit smaller, obviously, and it doesn't have as big of a yard space or anything like that. And I figured that would be where their neighbors live, where like random Sims live or something like that. And as I was editing this, I actually thought, you know, maybe I'll go in and create some Sims for them. Maybe I'll do a create a Sim video. I don't know. I might create some friends for them or something. Or I might have one of the... I know my Sim has a best friend that I might move into the upstairs apartment. I think her best friend's family, like the dynamic of their family and stuff like that, might work in the upstairs apartment. I'll have to see once I get in the game. Otherwise, I'll go in, I'll create like a random new family that will live there, because I don't want the random EA townies generating and looking all weird and living upstairs. So I want some nice Sims living up there. But yeah, so there'll be some random neighbors upstairs that I may or may not do a creator Sim of. I don't know. Let me know if that's something that you guys would like to see. But I actually didn't end up showing me furnishing the upstairs, simply because it is supposed to be for a family that I'm not going to play with. I didn't go too overboard with detailing, cluttering. I did fully furnish it. I did put in like decorations and stuff, but I didn't personalize it all that much. Now, I will show it off at the end of the video in the video tour, as I always do. But I just wanted to say that this video is going to be furnishing my Sims's like space. So in this apartment, I don't know if I want to call it an apartment or a condo, because in my head she would own, like they would be paying off like a mortgage on this apartment. So she would own it, so it would technically be a condo, and it's not like an apartment building. So I don't know, I'm just gonna call it an apartment for the sake of the game. But yeah, so in this apartment, you walk in, you have a big open plan living room kitchen area. They do have a small dining space off to the side as well that has access to the outside. Now, the way that I did the yards in this, there's actually a small front yard that has the staircase up to the second floor for, you know, the other Sims, for the neighbors. So that would be kind of like their personal yard space. And then on the other side of the house, where the garages are, there's a bigger yard space that has access to the garages and that this house or this apartment has access to, which I thought would be my Sims's backyard. Now, the really obvious thing that I missed, that I mentioned earlier in terms of the garage, is I have both of the garages like accessing my Sims's backyard. And originally I thought I would have the backyard set as like shared space, but then I thought when I was editing this, hold on, I can move the garage door for the neighbor's garage just to a different spot, which I will show you when I do the video tour. But I thought that if I moved it to where I have the trash bins, then, you know, those Sims can still access their garage, but they don't have to go through my Sims's backyard to get there, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, in the game, a garage is a fairly useless thing to have because we don't have cars. But in the garages, I do actually put all of the laundry stuff in there. I put my Sims's laundry stuff in there and the neighbors as well in their own garage. So, you know, I don't know if Sims... I don't think like the neighbors will actually end up using the garage to do their laundry, because I don't think they will need to do laundry if I'm not playing with them. But, you know, for realism's sake, it's there. So yeah, I'll probably move the door to have it be like outside of the backyard, because their garage is the one that's closest to the house. My Sims's one is the one that's furthest from the house. So they can still access it through the yard. The neighbors can just use a different access point. But yeah, I'll figure that out before I do the tour at the end. So yeah, on the first floor, or on this, yeah, the first floor of this house, but this apartment, we have the big open plan living room, kitchen. We have a little dining space that has access to the bathroom. So this apartment is only one bathroom and 2 bedrooms. The upstairs one is also 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. But then you have the bigger main bedroom right at the front of the house that, you know, you access it right by the kitchen, and then through the kitchen, and you have access to the secondary like kids bedroom, which I did go ahead and furnish. This place is totally furnished. I even put in all of the like toddler and infant things that I would need when, you know, my Sims do end up having kids, because they will have kids. I know that they will have kids. So yeah, I also made it very gray, even the kids room, because the theme, or the color theme for this generation is gray. So the whole house is very monochrome, a lot of gray, a lot of white and black as well. And then I actually use like blue and purple as accent colors here and there, as well as a lot of green in like plants and stuff. I go overboard with plants because it's me, and especially when I have CC to build with, there's so many more options for plants. So that's always one of my favorite parts of doing CC builds, is just the clutter. The plants and the clutter is like fantastic. But yeah, so currently we're working on the little living room space. They do have a very nice little fireplace area as well, and I think I have a fireplace in the upstairs apartment as well. I don't know if I did, because the upstairs apartment, the living room, is in a totally different space, so they might not have a fireplace. I don't know. But in any case, my Sims have a fireplace. It's this very nice modern brick, or not really brick, more like stone fireplace that I absolutely adore. And I do end up using these curtains all throughout the house. I do make them, I think, a little bit of a darker gray color, I think. Or do I leave them this greenish gray color? No, I do make them a dark gray, and then I have these like sheer curtains behind it. So yeah, that's what I end up doing for curtains. I also try and include like funky artwork and a lot of like abstract art throughout the whole place. So, you know, artwork that is either very monochrome or that has a couple of pops of color, because I do want to have this place not be like totally depressing and gray and like lifeless. I do want to make it feel warm and lived in and, you know, nice. So I do add a lot of like pops of color with like artwork and plants and clutter and things like that. So yeah, I really do like the way this apartment turned out. And if, like I said, if there's anything you want to download, if you want to download this whole build as well, it will be up on the gallery. But obviously, for you to download it from the gallery, you will need to have your custom content filter turned on to see it. And then also to have it look the same, you will need to have all of the CC that I used. So like I said, I will have a CC list in the description, as always, for these builds, where I will list the creators, and I'll also have links to the set that I'm using. I don't have specific items listed out of a set, because a lot of the creators whose stuff I download, their sets come in like huge not packages, but like they come merged, like for example, so the whole set will be merged, or I will download the merged version if that is an option. So I don't want to like try and link you to a specific item out of a set, because that way I feel like, personally, whenever I've done this in the past, whenever I've downloaded CC from people or from builds and stuff like that, where they've listed specific items out of a set, I always end up with duplicates, because I'll download an item and then later on I'll go and I'll, you know, see that set again somewhere, and I'll download the set without realizing that I already have one or two or three of the items in the set. So I'll have those items like duplicated in my mods folder, which is just a pain, and it's annoying, especially as someone with ADHD. I forget what I've downloaded a lot, so I have to like keep everything separated by set. So I'll link to the set, and then, you know, obviously if you've downloaded my previous builds that I've done for this, then you will have a lot of the CC already, just as a heads up. I mentioned it earlier, but always safe to go through and like just take a look, because like I said, there are a couple of new things I think that I downloaded that I didn't have when I did my previous builds. So yeah, definitely go ahead, take a look at that, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this build. But we're currently working on the not living space, but the dining room space. We're done with the living room, and I'm trying to pick a rug for the dining room that is a little bit more colorful, but still muted. And I love that round rug. I love the swatches that it comes in, and I spent so long trying to find a swatch that, you know, was colorful, but that didn't stand out too much. So I ended up going for this like dark green blue swatch in that rug, and I love the way it turned out. And then I just have a little seating corner over here in the corner with a little shelf and some pictures. At the end of the day, when I'm actually in my like save where I have my Sims and my Not So Berry family, all of that stuff, I do end up deleting a couple of the artwork pieces that I have around the house, which I won't be able to show you guys because I'm not going to do the tour in my actual save. I'm going to do it in a different save. But at the end of the day, when I'm playing, I actually deleted a couple of the like paintings and stuff like that because I wanted to put up some family pictures. So I end up putting in, you know, either some of the frames that came with the Moschino pack, or I'll like just take the picture regularly and put it up on the wall, because I do have a lot of family pictures. I'm trying really, really hard with this save to actually take family pictures. That is something that I really, really struggle with when I do gameplay. I'll like be really dedicated to it for maybe like 1 or 2 generations, or like 1 generation a lot of the time, and then I'll get caught up with actually playing and having my Sims grow up and do all of like, you know, gameplay stuff, and I'll forget to actually document certain moments like weddings or birthdays or, you know, stuff like that. I'll almost never take pictures of my Sims before they're maybe children. I'll never have like baby pictures of them, or I'll never have like infant or toddler pictures or anything like that. I forget to take pictures of them when they're that age. And also it's kind of annoying, even with the Moschino features, like it's kind of annoying to get Sims to actually listen to you and go where you want them to go to take pictures, or like actually do the poses that you can do to have them like stand still so you can take a proper picture. So yeah, I don't ever do that, but I do try and take some pictures here and there and include them in my houses when I actually play. But yeah, we've actually moved on to the main bedroom, and I've been loving doing this like built-in closet detail in my houses recently. So I'll put these built-in closet shelf units in, and then I'll clutter them up myself. So I do spend a lot of time doing that when I do CC builds, because yeah, like I said, favorite part about CC builds is, you know, plants and clutter. So there's a lot of cluttering that I did in this build that I did end up cutting out, simply because it is me spending like 10 to 15 minutes in real time sitting here like just going through the catalog over and over and over again, because there's so much to pick from and I can't ever decide what I want to use. So yeah, it takes forever. Okay, like look at this, like look at that dresser. I tried to make it look like it's also a vanity. It's not. I tried putting in a vanity, but it just didn't work with the space. So I just put the dresser down there and a mirror to make it look like a vanity, and then cluttered it up. So I love it. I love the way it turned out. I absolutely love this bedroom as well. It feels very, I don't know, like lived in, and like it gets used. So there's things everywhere. There's stuff on the bedside tables. Like it feels like Sims actually live here, which I absolutely adore. I love building like this. It's a little bit redundant when you're actually playing, because you don't need half of this stuff. Your Sims can't interact with it. It doesn't actually serve a gameplay purpose apart from looking nice. And, you know, personally when I play, I like that. I like having houses that actually look nice and that I enjoy playing in, and that aren't just function, if that makes sense, that do look cute and that I put some effort into making look cute. But yeah, so that's the main bedroom, and now we're working on the kids' room. So there is only one kids' room. Like I said, I thought my Sims would probably only have one child or twins if it ends up happening that way. But I do add in a high chair. I think I have a toddler potty in the bathroom. If I don't, then it's very easy to add in. I add a little playmat in the living room. And then in the bedroom, I make sure to have a crib, a changing table, and a lot of toys and things like that. And it would be very easy for me to swap out the crib for a toddler bed as well. So, you know, once the child ages up into a toddler, I can swap it out. And then there's plenty of space for me to swap all of the furniture around and out for like a bed when they become a child, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's a nice sized room as well. And then I actually end up using this piece that's kind of like a half diagonal, not diagonal, but like triangle type thing. And I believe it's actually supposed to go underneath a staircase to make like a built-in staircase nook. So, you know, sometimes you'll see staircases with shelving built underneath them. It's technically supposed to be like that and supposed to be used like that. But I actually used it as just a like shelving unit in the bedroom, and I kind of like the way it looked. I kind of like the shape of it in that corner, and with the shelves I cluttered them up eventually, and I put a doll's house next to it and have a lot of other toys and things like that around, which I do like. Even though this bedroom is very gray, I do have some other colors. I think the next color is, I want to say pink, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's pink. I think it's some sort of other color that I used as an accent in here, but I used a lot of pastel colors as accent colors in the kids' room just to make it not as depressing as it otherwise would have been if it was, you know, just a gray bedroom. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember what the next color is. For some reason, this is going to really bug me right now. So part of me wants to go and see if I can find the challenge. Because like I said, I don't remember. I haven't played this challenge in a couple of weeks, like since before Love Struck came out. So the next color is lava. It's red. So yeah, that's the next color. So I didn't use that color as an accent in this room because I feel like red kids' rooms, especially bright red, is kind of terrifying to me personally. Maybe once the kid is like a child, I'll put some red accents in here. But as a toddler or an infant, I feel like red is just a little bit too much. But yeah, so the next color is red. I need to remember that. But yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what I can do for the next house. So yeah, I'll probably start building that house before that child is even born. Because I really want to, like, I'm really in the mood to build and to build with my CC. So I might end up building the next generation's house before the next generation is even born. Which would be kind of hilarious if I'm being completely honest. But you know, that's just, it happens sometimes, especially when you're playing a legacy or a challenge and you know what the next generation is going to be. Like, I know what the next generation's career needs to be. And I know what skills they need to, like, max or, you know, get proficient in. And what, you know, sometimes I'll even know what the next generation's, like, how many kids they need to have. So I feel like that is something that I could feasibly do without having the next generation yet, if that makes sense. And I do apologize. I feel like I can hear, like, oh, it's raining. That's what I'm hearing. I thought it was like an airplane going overhead or something like that, but it just started to rain. So if you guys can hear that, I do apologize. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this build. We're almost done with it, and we're currently working on the exterior. So the Sims do have a little, like, you know, a little deck area out the back where I have a bar, I have a bonsai tree because they do need to have a bonsai tree. And then this is where I have both of the garage entrances. Now, the one garage with the grey car in it, that's just a debug car, that one is the neighbors. And like I said, I might move that door to a different spot so that they don't have to enter the backyard to actually get to their garage, and I can lock the gate to, like, keep the neighbors out. But yeah, I think I might do that when I actually go in and do the tour. I do apologize, the rain is getting really loud. So I'm going to wrap this voiceover up. I think we're almost to the end of it anyway. So I'm going to be finishing off the backyard, adding a couple of things. You know, a planter box and a couple of other skill building items. I think I add in an easel as well on the patio. And then I do the front patio as well, where I put a chess table and a games table. And yeah, that's basically it. A lot of plants, like I already said. But with all of that said, this speed build portion of the video is basically done. So I'm going to cut this voiceover off here, and we're going to go on ahead and hop into the game and take a proper look at it. I'll also show you the upstairs apartment that I didn't show me furnishing. And yeah, let's go on ahead and do that. Okay, so here we are with the finished build. Now, it is built on the Parkside place lot, in case you want to place it exactly where I have it, here in San Sequoia. But this is what the build looks like, all completed. And let me just show you guys what I was talking about with the garage really quickly. So this is technically the second, like, condo's garage. And what I've done is I've just gone ahead and moved some of these things around. So originally the gate was like right there, but I've moved it a little bit further back so that I could move the garage door, which used to be over here, just to the side. so that I can go ahead and lock this gate so that the neighbors won't be able to enter my Sims's backyard, if that makes sense, and they can still access their own little garage space, which I did do off camera. So this car is custom content. It's not functional, but it is CC. And then I just have basically all of the garage items that you might have. So we have laundry out here, we have a little sink, we have all of the laundry baskets, we have a flower arranging station, because my sim is actually into flower arranging. And then we just have some regular, you know, garage clutter. Outside, we just have a little planter space, we have a little bit of an open grassy area. Then we have, I think I used to have a telescope here, but I think I might have removed the CC of it. So that's why when I placed the build down, it said I had removed an item. I think there's supposed to be a telescope over there. But yeah, so we have a little area for sitting, for eating. We have a grill out here. We have the little back patio area with a easel, a little bonsai tree, and a bar as well. And that is basically the whole outside on that side. Now over here on this side though, we have kind of like the neighbors' little small front yard. They just have a little seating area, and then you go upstairs to get into their apartment, where you have a grill for them. They have a little seating space, and I'm going to show you their apartment first. But they have this, like, a whole upstairs floor is their apartment. I'm going to go ahead and hide the lines really quickly of the rental. But yeah, so this is their little front porch area. And then you come in and you have a little, like, living room space. This one is a little bit more green than the downstairs, but still very gray and white and black, very monochrome. They have a desk area over there. You go through this little hallway, and then they have their kitchen space, little dining room space. They also have one bathroom, which is right off of the living room, right in the middle of the apartment, just a small bathroom. And then they do have two bedrooms. So there's the main bedroom, which is kind of like the double bedroom. And then over on this side through the kitchen, they have a kind of like kids, teenager, you know, whatever you want to have it be, bedroom. So there's two single beds in here, as well as an art easel and a toy box. So you can have like children in here as well. But yeah, so this is basically the entire like upstairs apartment that I did off camera. And I will probably create some Sims for this, or I'll move my Sims' best friend, or, you know, someone in here once I get to actually playing with the build. But yeah, so going back outside to the front, we have the front porch, where I just have a like chess table, a games table, and some plants and decorative things. But you come into the house and you're into kind of like the little office space, foyer entry area, where we have our desk for my Sims. We have a little bookshelf over in that corner. And then we have our big living room space. They do have a little fireplace, like I mentioned in the video. Obviously, all of the seating. And then through this side, we have the kitchen area, which I absolutely love the way this kitchen turned out. But we have a little island in the front. Obviously, we have our like stove and all of that stuff. Our clutter, coffee like kettle, all of that stuff. Dishwasher over in that corner. Big fridge. And then through the archway, we have their dining room space. So yeah, over here is where one of the spaces where I end up putting like family pictures in my save when I'm actually playing with it. But yeah, they have their dining room that has obviously access to the outside. And this is also how you access the bathroom. So this is also one bathroom, two bedrooms, but their bathroom is clearly quite a bit bigger. So yeah, double sinks, you know, all of the regular bathroom stuff. But going back to the front, right off of the kitchen, you have the main bedroom that looks out to the front yard, where we have, you know, obviously my Sims' bedroom, all of their clutter. We have a little built-in closet space, a fake vanity area as well, and just a lot of, you know, gray and white. This color for the generation is gray, so obviously a lot of gray, but, you know, some pops of color here and there. And then the last room is right off of the kitchen as well, which is the little kid's bedroom, I guess. So this is currently furnished for an infant, but obviously I could easily move the bed around, put in a toddler bed, you know, delete some of the infant and toddler stuff, put in a child's bed, you know, all of that stuff. And yeah, we have a little changing area over here with some shelving. We have some more shelving with toys and clothes and all of that stuff. A little doll's house, stuffed animals, everything that you would need for a little infant's bedroom. But yeah, that is basically this entire build, you guys. So yeah, here's a little floor plan view. I'm going to turn the colors back on. Now this purple color is my Sims's space, so that side garage is theirs. And then the brighter pink is the neighbor's space. So yeah, this is the first floor. And then the second floor as well, in case you want to go ahead and, you know, see that. But yeah, that is it for this build, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to download it, all of the download information will be in the description, as I already mentioned. The CC list with all of the custom content that I used will also be linked in the description for you guys if you want to download all of the CC to make sure that the build looks exactly the way it looked in the video. And yeah, it is up on the gallery, like I said. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. Let me know if you want to see a creator sim of, you know, a potential family for the second apartment in this build. And yeah, if you want to see that here on the channel, let me know about that. And let me know if you still enjoy these CC builds that I'm doing for my Not So Berry family. But I hope you're all having a great day and a great week, and I will talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.